Do you need me to send you the link?
We need to get you on here. I guess.
Is there not a camera on that level?
Yeah, there's one on here, but I just, we need it on, but yeah. Okay.
So do you need to, only send you the Zoom link? All right, there it is. That's good enough. And is this the channel?
We need to get you on here. I guess.
Is there not a camera on that level?
Yeah.
You're gonna wanna mute yourself. Okay, that's the correct one.
How do I do that?
Did you need to, only send you the Zoom link? All right, there it is.
It's just, I need to just do it for me.
Wix gives you the freedom to tell
I took her. Or president. This is updated. I think we're in.
Oh, we do. We just gave it to me.
Yeah, this is the same thing, but this is bigger, so the way. Yes, yeah, go ahead. I'm ready. It lingers, it lingers. Please.
I will never.
Just like either we're just large partners, that's right.
Hey, Eric. I know that you have the background.
No, I didn't realize it.
No, I mean, we could take that and maybe stick it up.
Thinking of it as a number right now, finally. It only took me
Now,
years.
so like.
I've got somebody who still hasn't done it from me.
Oh, it was, see, the first time we did it, they told me I had to take off my address. Yeah. And the second time, they wanted my address back. And I'm like, make up your mind.
I do
It
not.
messed up all my billing.
That is my biggest frustration in my job, supplier meetings.
It totally messed up my building. I was like, it took them 2 months to do it. I was like, okay, now you guys are owing way too much money, not just mileage,
Yeah.
all this
Right.
mileage check.
Yes, I mean, exactly. Now you messed it up completely.
I argued with them, I had Pam take care of it. Pam, I go, Pam, you need to take care of this.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
It was horrid. I mean,
Yes.
Can you,
Yeah.
adjust it and it's good like that?
Yeah.
I did, I'm sorry.
Did I not? Yeah, there you go. You wanna,
It's over here that we need to.
do you wanna push it in or what are you wanting to
Maybe
do?
come forward.
Let's move the whole table.
No, it's over here. I mean, what, let me scoot over.
Okay. How do you want? Amy, can you come stand up here? And Eric can adjust it where he feels his best.
Amy's a lot shorter than Eric.
I know, all the interpreters are gonna have to. I'm also short. Here, we can be Eric together.
I'm gonna stand on her shoulders.
This is us being Eric.
Yeah. Probably wasted.
Yeah, like that. Let's move it over.
Yeah.
Because if you're shooting it from the white screen, that's still solid. It's more solid than.
Yeah, and people come in and out.
Perfect. I think that'll be good. Do you want to scoot the box over?
I'm taller than her. Do you want me to stand up there?
Oh, yeah, that's nice. Do you want to just?
So if that's the, I mean, I can adjust it. No, I mean, I can, it's more
Yeah,
just,
we'll adjust you as you guys.
yeah, as long as it's solid, that's
Okay.
fine. Actually, Tim is probably gonna be the one up here most of the time, anyway, so. I like them. I also feel like that we need to learn and all of the.
Well, when I got it. No. Yes.
I know. Hey, good morning, sir. Oh. So we cool with staying up there? Yes. And then, thank you.
You're welcome.
And then if he, yeah, I would say either if we're like, okay, this is too much voice, or if it's too much of this at the break, we'll sort of think about it and we can make it. I got some practice with John yesterday, so. Oh, that's right, yeah. Oh, so when John comes up, every single one is switch. Oh, I thought you were saying. It's saying now.
I'm more comfortable than.
Did Angela's friend have the baby?
I don't think so.
Oh,
Oh, still.
but yeah.
Yes.
Stand back my pen.
This whole. It's just, I told my wife last night, I don't know, I'm just, it went, and usually it's like a week, it's just like, so we'll do that the next week, okay, I have a little bit of free, like next, this week, next week, and then next week, preferably, he's already have all this, it's just like, absolutely, like, there's no, like, great, it's good. And so this morning, but my brain was like, yes, Get what to it. It's just another time where you see this stuff. I've put these in order, I think, just based on that, so I can just. She has one. When someone else does, it doesn't come out. Let's just see how it goes. I don't think so.
I know we've built problems.
So I don't know.
It's up to you guys.
Yeah, let's see how it goes. Yeah, we'll start, and if a lot of people are chiming in on that. Maybe I think about your like professional. Yeah, just use your judgment, like if you see us focus on somebody, send us a comment. If we but I'll be first back. If she's voicing, I think some of us always then I'll throw a comment out. But if it's something over here or something like that.
Probably right there. Right?
And you'll be in charge too, like if the deaf person comes up to sign, if they'll just sort of adjust.
That's okay.
And when John Johnson, yeah, when John Johnson says, this answer is not all. Get trampoline behind you. I like those old times.
Hi, good morning, how are you? Yes. And I'm lying. I'm gonna start. It's the last thing I put on there, but I'm gonna start with that. So, yeah. And I may or may not follow the order, but, okay. You know me. I do. I do my thing.
If you hear nothing, then.
They ask us at least once a week if they want to have a conversation. So I know you are $42 million. Well, I didn't think that long much. I didn't know there was more.
Yeah, you get like a minimum hour. Yeah. Take me nothing. Yeah. Not my wife was three or four like 7 or 8. There's like 3 or 4 owners in there. Because all the same age like that.
Why do you go? I can go to the store and buy whatever. Right.
Everything from yesterday.
Mom told me to come here. She's like, she knows We were just talking about that,
Yesterday was a long day.
if you hear me go like, if you hear my inflections be like, we had a meeting today, last week, it was great, yes, it sounds super great, everything's good. But that's all, that's how I'm gonna do it.
That's how I sound every time. Every time Carl gets up there. Every time. And I feel so bad. He's so excited. And I'm like, and. Meeting. September 20th. October 13th. Every time, never fails. I was so much smarter than yesterday.
She's picking up.
Yeah, so it was like more like, he only.
Yeah, we'll recess at the break, and that's fine, and if it's a lot of this, and we can figure out, we'll just take for it. No, I don't have a goal, I'm more out. I'm more out. I saw her, and usually have a busy week, but I think next week also. And for me, like this week's better, and next week's better, and next week's better, and then since it's hopefully
We have an agenda.
yeah.
Welcome. To me. About this.
So then we'll switch before that.
Just so no.
We'll switch, because you've already seen it.
Because I saw him yesterday. He's like. Is it here? Yeah. He's sitting there next to John Dawson.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just fast.
Yeah. What is a snapshot? They did something with snapshot. It's snapshot. Yeah, I love that word, snapshot.
I think he's getting
Yeah, and she was talking about that's it's like a definition program. Yeah.
when you see it, you'll know it's.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, wow, you wait for
yeah,
it. You go, hey, how are you?
yeah.
Mhm.
You have them? Okay. Great, thank you.
Good morning. How are you all? Good, good. Not falling asleep, everybody awake from yesterday, you know, the retreat and everything? Did you enjoy the retreat yesterday? I missed it, I had to work. So did everybody enjoy it? Great, great, good, good to hear. Okay. Lisa, will you please call the roll?
All right, Marina Terry. Jessica Villanueva could not be with us today. She is actually ill. Robin Beeman. Here. Meredith Bailey. Mandy Dockery. Amy Langkite. Here. Austin Nichols. Not with us. Amy Farrell. Here. John Johnson.
Here.
Monique Brazelton. Jennifer Dean.
Here.
Holly Allen. Carl Sherrard.
Here.
Paul Kozak.
Here.
Alex Pelham. Not here. And Carolyn Wolf. All right, we do have a quorum.
Thank you, Lisa. Next on the agenda is if someone would make a motion. Hi, I propose to add Marina to the council members report. Okay, should we have a second? Is that the right procedure to have a second? Monique seconds, thank you. So add my name to the council members report. Thank you, Amy. Any more motions? Lisa?
We have an addition or a change in the agenda. I had already typed it out and printed it out, so not to waste paper. It will not be Sharon Bryant making the Deaf Mentor Program updates. It will actually be Paul Kozak. So we just need to make a change there.
Can anyone second Lisa's motion? Amy Farrell, okay, thank you. Okay. So we'll add Marina to the council member report and then replace Sharon or Paul Kozak for Sharon Bryant. Is that okay with everyone? Any discussion needed? Okay, closed. And we vote. All the ayes? Raise your hand. Okay, passed unanimously. Thank you so much. All right, next on the agenda, approval of the minutes. Has everyone already read the minutes? Everyone good? Any corrections? I don't see any. Okay, so no corrections. Okay, the minutes are approved. All right, next. Department of Human Services update. Jessica Villanueva.
Okay, so I am not Jessica. I am Annalise Romiser. I'm the DHS representative for the council. I'm the VR field supervisor for deaf and blind services in East Tennessee. I've been with the state for 15 years. The VR representative, Andrea Levy, was unable to attend, so that's why I'm doing that face. So VR as a whole attended the Resourceability Fair in Lebanon to learn about new and emerging assistive technology, team building, and trainings related to ethics, compassion fatigue, competitive integrated employment, among others. We have two new VR staff, Judy Jackson in Davidson County for Blind Services, and Tennessee, that is T-A-N-A-S-I, Rice. And she is in Washington County for Deaf and Blind Services. We, along with General VR, have been setting up at the TINA locations in Newport and Elizabethton to be available for applications for people negatively impacted by the hurricane. We set up for about half the day and we're just available to get out resources. Didn't get a lot of people there, but answered some questions, so getting the word out. And then the TINA Go Bag distribution in September was a success. A lot of our locations completely ran out bags. Some were not as lucky, so we do have some leftovers. If anybody needs some or knows people that need some, let me know. We can try to get them to you. So that's okay. Perfect. Now Lisa's gonna.
I was just gonna say, I have one of the emergency kits with me today. So it was you. Okay, so that's for Carolyn. Sorry, I couldn't remember who it was. Thanks.
Thank you. So next, the Department of, wait. I'm not on the right one. Okay, the Executive Director's report. Lisa. Good morning, everyone. I'm so happy. You know, we only have one person absent today, so that is great, and she is very sick. So that's great. Anyway, very happy to see all of you. Nice to have a full table. Those of you who didn't come to the retreat yesterday, wow, you really missed out. We really enjoyed ourselves. I especially enjoyed the competition. We had 3 groups participating, doing team building exercises, and it was fantastic, just fabulous. There were 11 people out of 17 that are on the council. So it was a good turnout. All right, let's see what's next. I want to introduce you to someone very special. As you know, Tyler Samuel, our minority representative, her term has expired. And now we're proposing a new person to fill that role. Right now he's in the process. You all know, the state, the red tape that comes along with the state and how complex and complicated it is. But anyway, this is Tony
Deja.
And hopefully this confirmation will be complete and he'll join the table in February. So thank you so much, Tony, for your willingness to serve. And surprise interpreter, I forgot to put that in the notes. I want to make a comment about some things we've been doing. I was able to go to the parent group in Franklin, Tennessee. And a good amount of people were there. It was very interesting. Because these parents and the children who are deaf, some of the parents themselves were deaf, but most of them were hearing. And you know, they didn't know a lot about pre-employment transition services. They didn't know anything about that kind of thing. They knew nothing. VR, they didn't know about that. So it was a really good meeting. It lasted about an hour. It was good to make some connections with people all over the state. I represented the council and the VR as well. I was also able to attend DRT, Disability Rights Tennessee, a luncheon, their annual luncheon. And that was really fun. Also made some good connections there with different people, got to meet some people, it was nice. I'm getting ready 2 weeks from tomorrow to go to the Southeast region, the Institute on Deafness in Hilton Head, South Carolina. Seems nice, I can see the beach, but unfortunately it's gonna be cold, darn it. But anyway, I'm excited about the training, about the board meetings. I actually serve on the CRO board. So I'm excited about that. I'll have a lot to announce, a lot to talk about when I come back. So lastly, but probably the most important, coming up soon. Yesterday, one of your council members recommended to add each council member, add their contact information on the website. So I've already asked each council member to please send me an email with the contact information that you would like to be on the webpage. And I will ask them to add that information to the website. So that's exciting because people often need help and they don't know who to reach out to. So now they can see your organizations, who you represent, and how to connect with you directly. And I think that'll be a better system for everyone. Okay, well, thank you all again for coming. Thank you, Lisa, for your report. Next is unfinished business. Do we have any? I guess not. Lisa, do we have any unfinished business? Jennifer says
I see the
election.
election.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, never mind. I thought it was something else. Sorry. Okay, I guess we don't have any, so on to new business. I would like to Alex to take the floor for the elections of the officers for 2025. Alex?
Okay. Took me a minute to figure out how to use the microphone.
I thought we already did the voting.
I thought we already, Jennifer's speaking, I thought we already did the voting. What happened?
And we do it
And
annually, John Johnson is saying.
John's saying annually.
There was a last minute replacement. So this is our annual election in which we're voting for. Lisa's clarifying.
Okay, are we good to go?
Yeah, hold on 1 second. Lisa, did we say that out loud so Tim can sign up for the people on Zoom? Whatever you just said.
We actually had a last minute substitution because the person that was our vice chairperson was from TSD, and TSD substituted someone in, and so we had to do a last minute substitution. That's when we voted Alex in, but this is our annual election that we do every November.
Thank you, Lisa. So what we have to decide here today is both the chairperson for 2025 and the vice chairperson. The parameters on this are that one has to be a state employee and one has to be a member of the deafblind community. It does not matter which is which. Unless there are any objections, I'd like to open nominations for the chairperson. Deaf, blind, or hard of hearing. That is my goal.
Yeah, I think John has a comment real quick. I thought about recommending Jennifer Dean as chairperson, but I wasn't sure. She was president of TAD and vice president. There's been some change up in TAD. Am I able to recommend Jennifer in that role, or is that not permitted?
My understanding is that TAD starting in February, Jennifer, correct me if I'm wrong, but the TAD president told me that he will be attending from now on. I don't know what's going on there, so probably, yes, it would need to be someone who is the president, since that is the actual representative.
So this is John Johnson again. So let me ask Jennifer, would you be comfortable in the role of chairperson if I recommended you?
Oh, thank you, John. But like Lisa said, maybe it should be the president. I'll discuss with them, you know. So it might be a little confusing if it's not him. So it might be better for me to step back, but thank you.
Yeah, and that's the reason that I was considering Jennifer, but I know that her that we have to go through the bylaws and make sure we follow that. But I think she'd be a great person, but maybe this just isn't the right time for her to take that role. And Jennifer says, maybe later on.
Thank you, John. Do we have any other nominations out there for the role of chairperson? Not everybody at once.
Jennifer says, we have to nominate someone, right? So is anyone interested? No one? Okay, Morena, are you still interested?
If no one accepts, she's fine with it.
Morena said, I'm fine with it. And so Jennifer said, okay, I nominate Morena Terry for chair.
Okay, that is one nomination that we have. Are there any other nominations on the floor? This will be the easiest election we do this week.
That is true.
Okay, with no more nominations on the floor, congratulations, Madam Chairman. You are it for another year.
Thank you.
Okay,
Now, vice chair.
Vice chair.
I don't think I'm allowed to do this one.
No, no. Okay, since Alex is the vice chair, he needs to recuse himself, so we'll open the floor for nominations for the vice chair position. Any nominations? Carolyn? Oh. Carolyn recommends Alex. Do you accept the nomination, Alex? He said yes. Are there any other nominations for a vice chair? The easiest ever, okay. Okay, I guess that was an easy process, so congratulations, Alex, on being the vice chair again. I have to get my notes, okay. All right, so the election is done, so next would be the report on disaster relief by Bridges, so Nancy?
Good morning. The staff here's about to be surprised, but I'm actually a little chilly. Which you'll need to write that down in your books. That should be in the minutes because that never happens. Are y'all chilly? Is everybody comfortable? I want to make sure everybody's comfortable in the room. Okay, well, if you are chilly, please point to Desiree back there. She'll take care of it. Okay, thank you so much for the opportunity this morning, the day after Halloween, when I was up till midnight, to share updates on some important work that we're doing. I want to say Bridges for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing is doing a great job across the state. Bridges West is thriving. Middle Tennessee is going really well. Lots of exciting things happening. But today I want to really brag on Bridges East, which has been in existence just for the last year and then was hit by the flood recently. That area up in northeast Tennessee and going into western North Carolina, areas where they serve, was just devastated. You probably have seen videos and pictures, but it's hard to imagine if you don't live in that area, what that's really like. We've lived through a flood here in Nashville and have seen that destruction up close ourselves, and it's still, I think, 10 times worse up there what the people are going through. Bridges East is staffed by a full-time director, Adrian Metcalf, and a full-time staff interpreter, Lindsay, and then we have 2 part-time employees that were new that area has never had before. One of those is a part-time outreach director, CJ, and one is a part-time empowerment coordinator, Sydney. Andrew had just left for a cruise when the flood hit. So that left Lindsay and CJ and Sydney on the ground in something they had never done before. And they did extraordinary work in responding. Within the first 24 hours, they had contacted every deaf, hard of hearing, or deafblind person that they knew in the area and asked them to reach out to others personally and individually, checking on members of the community in that area to see what their losses were, if they were personally hurt, if they were displaced, what their immediate needs were in those early days. We were immediately putting out announcements that were signed and voiced and captioned, and we were putting transcripts up so our deaf-blind community had what they needed. A lot of that captioning and the transcripts that were created, some of us were doing those here in Middle Tennessee for them, but Andrew on that cruise ship in the middle of the ocean had bought an internet package and did that in his room on his cruise to make sure that people had the access that they needed. We were actively assisting the emergency management associations in Sullivan, Carter, Unicoi, Greene, Cock, Johnson, and Johnson counties, and the city of Elizabethton and the city of Irwin. When those local emergency management agencies or mayors didn't know that they had deaf residents in their backyards who needed signed information or hard of hearing people who needed captions, we were on the phone with them, advocating to make sure everything was fully accessible. We have had 18 people that were directly impacted by the flood that we have been able to assist, and this is through multiple personal contacts. CJ, when we started gathering bottled water and other supplies that people needed in those early days, CJ not only set up an area where those things could be picked up, but she drove them to people who couldn't get them to, who couldn't get there. Because a lot of those roads and bridges in Northeast Tennessee were closed, and you had to figure out a good way around that. They've maintained regular follow-ups with each individual, ensuring that their needs are addressed, providing updates on available resources. We've had a lot of open office hours where people could just come in. They've delivered supplies. We are assisting right now with FEMA applications We've also been in close contact with FEMA and TEMA since day one. They have been amazing and responsive in recognizing that our community had needs, and working out with them. They've been coordinating resources with multiple agencies in the area. Individuals have obtained essential items like furniture, medications, and appliances. We hosted a free laundry day. We took over a laundromat for a day that first week and paid for anyone who needed to come in and do their laundry. So if you just got out with the clothes on your back, at least you could wash them and feel human for a little bit. We've interpreted the multiple press conferences and community updates, again, then making sure that those went out with captions and transcripts and voicing. Volunteer day and distribution efforts. We are doing regular volunteer groups at the Bristol Motor Speedway. Our first day out there was October 18th. And this is where our deaf community came together to give back. And I think that's a really powerful and healing moment for the community to be able to participate directly in the relief efforts. And that will be happening regularly. So if you're interested in going with Bridges East to do some of that volunteer work, please reach out to Andrew or CJ or Sydney. All the supplies that we have gathered so far are complete. So now we're going through those other resources. We've helped folks get their electricity turned back on, particularly around the Carter County area. That took a long time, and there were some breakdowns in communication because it was so spotty in that area between the city and the county power and who got what and who was still out, and they worked on those things. So they're continuing to host open office hours, continuing to work with FEMA and TEMA on relief and doing those things. But again, having been through tornadoes here and a flood here, I know what that takes. It takes 24 hours a day of being on top of what's happening and watching every newscast to make sure that they didn't forget and cut away from the interpreter while they were presenting essential information. It takes a lot of advocacy. It takes a lot of time to do those videos, those transcripts and the captioning, and it takes a lot of personal and intimate knowledge of your community to be able to find individuals and reach out to them and be able to get them what they need. CJ's mom was cooking hot meals for people because a lot of people didn't have power and they were fortunate enough in Johnson City to keep it. So I was very pleased, and thank you, Lisa, for the invitation today to say Bridges East, which is there because of the state and the council, has done some phenomenal work and continues to do it. And that's a small team going 24/7 to serve the deaf, blind, and hard of hearing communities. And we're really proud of them. Lisa also gave me just a couple minutes to share an update on our educational interpreter development program, because I know a lot of people have had questions about that. Our funding is from the Tennessee State Department of Education. But to date, in the year that we have been up and running, we have served 105 mentees from 31 counties across the state. In our second year of operation, we're really focused on reaching rural areas where often there's just one person who may know some signs who gets put in a room to interpret for our deaf kids. And we know that deaf education is so important, and having full access to language and appropriate language models in the classroom is the biggest thing that we can do for them. So we're really excited. We're getting a lot more mentees enrolled from rural areas. 19 of our interpreters have taken the EIPA performance test. 2 have received their scores back and have blown it away. We're getting scores like 4.5. So we're well and above what the state is requiring for educational interpreters. We're really proud of them. We're waiting on the other 17 because the EIPA performance assessment has to be scored out of Boys Town, and they have a 10-month backlog, but we anticipate that they will all do very, very well. 20 people have already passed the written portion of the EIPA. We have 7 new licensed educational interpreters. We have given out $10,000 in scholarship money to support people who are in ITPs or deaf studies or ASL education at universities here in Tennessee. We just recently added a full-time deaf mentor. All of the mentees in our program are paired with both an interpreting mentor and a deaf mentor, but we were able to bring on a full-time deaf mentor, Mike Green, who is phenomenal. We have hosted over 70 hours of educational workshops. To date, we have 32 more hours of workshops scheduled. All of this is free to the mentees in the program. We sent 20 of our mentees to TSD's Educational Interpreter Institute, which was 20 hours of workshops. And our second online conference starts next week. So if you're a deaf educator an interpreter, or the parent of a deaf or hard of hearing student in Tennessee's public schools, feel free to join us. And this is in addition to all the other great work, our statewide GED course, driver's license courses, lots of things are happening, and we appreciate all of your support and engagement. And we are just really excited and appreciative of the deaf, blind, and hard of hearing communities who lead us every day, and they send us down these wonderful paths. So thank you.
Thank you, Nancy, for your report. Any more new business? Alex has something to say.
That sounds far more serious than it is. So just to add on to the disaster relief piece, I think most of you guys know what I do in my day-to-day is emergency management. So at being TEMA's representative here, made the last couple months really serious. I think we had a very positive showing and outcome from our Preparedness Month efforts with the weather radios, with the pillow shakers, and the strobe lights. I do wish that we didn't need them as quick as we did for most of the state, but think of that as a first step from our agency to continue to better prepare all of Tennessee and not just the easiest parts of Tennessee. But just to give you a little update of what we've been doing, the Bristol Motor Speedway site that was talked about was put together in 4 days as a public-private partnership between TEMA, and we were able to start getting tractor trailer amounts of goods out to the communities and to the counties to help folks as we go. I heard conversation about members of the community volunteering. What I will say is if you're volunteering, even if you don't care about any sort of recognition or any sort of monetary gain, your volunteer hours can help your community meet their portion of the match they have to do to pay for some of this stuff with the federal government. So please keep good records. And then that will help those communities that are affected have to pay less out of pocket and get reimbursed more from the federal government in the disaster. We are working heavily with FEMA daily. I think I've had 2 days off in the last month, so we continue to go. But one of the biggest pieces that we did is we got an expedited major disaster. That means next to nothing to folks that aren't nerds like me. But what that actually means is it allows us to get help into the communities quicker. And that we call it individual assistance. So this individual assistance deals with temporary housing for folks that may have lost their homes or their homes may be damaged to where they can't go in. It deals with serious needs, which is literally cash in hand to help. It deals with renter assistance. So there's a lot of different programs that folks can be a part of that can get assistance. One of the things that I would say is the easiest and best thing we do is we go and meeting customers where they are. So in this case, customers are survivors. So we have centers, some of them are called disaster relief centers, some of them are called multi-agency resource centers, but these are areas where if you've lost your ID, you can go and get a replacement ID because the Department of Safety is there to help. If you need assistance with benefits, with insurance, there are state agencies there to help. And it's located in one place. That's the key, is we need you to go to one place because we shouldn't be taxing these survivors and making it difficult for them to get their life back in order. If you know of anyone or if you can share the information, please let them know that there are currently 6 of these centers open, and they're in Cobb County, Carter County, Washington County, Unicoi County, Greene County, and Hamlin County. The hours are on TEMA's website. and their traditional hours during the week. I think it's roughly 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. local time. That folks can just walk in. You don't have to have an appointment, and they can get help from a lot of the agencies that are there. They are not eligible for these if they do not register them. That is the key. They have to go in and they have to register. It's not just an automatic eligibility piece. I will say, I have been in this field for 20 years-ish. And I have never seen the level of destruction and debris that I have with this disaster. So North Carolina got it worse, but that doesn't mean our brothers and sisters in East Tennessee didn't have a catastrophic event and life-changing event. So I would just say I have had the privilege, is probably not the right word, but the ability to go out and see it in person. And would just ask that you keep the survivors, the families, and those affected in your prayers, because we know recovery is not a short process. This recovery will go on for a decade or longer. We're still seeing the effects of the Tennessee floods of 2010, and these folks are less resourced. They've lost a lot of their economy. So the rebuild is going to take all of us across the state helping these folks get back where they need to be. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so any more new business? Okay. Next, council member reports. Amy Farrell with Tennessee Hands and Voices.
Hi, thanks for having me today. I have just a few updates from Hands and Voices and the parents of deaf children. Last council meeting, I talked about Mom's Night In, which is an event for female caregivers to have a little respite and to spend some time together, learning together how to support their families. Unfortunately, we had to postpone that due to some concerns with the dorms around the time of our event, but postponed, not canceled. We're working on a new date, a new location. So we'll stay connected and share those details with you. If you have donated money for that event or items for that event, we're holding it so that we can give it to those families at that time. And we're really looking forward to share new details coming soon. We have a new Middle Tennessee Parent Connection representative. That would be me. So officially working with Hands and Voices. And then I will be working just to connect with families. It can be overwhelming when you first receive that diagnosis that your child is deaf and hard of hearing. So my job will be to get them connected in, make them feel loved, get them connected to the right agency or support group that they're looking for. So super excited to take that responsibility on officially. We have a current fundraiser going on, super exciting. It's a virtual 5K. It will go on between December 29th through January 2nd. You can sign up now. It's a virtual 5K. So you can run, you can walk, you can bike, you can dream about doing the 5K. That's fine too. I will be dreaming that 5K. So it's a big fundraiser. It's a national fundraiser. Registration is $35. And the Tennessee chapter here receives 100% of the proceeds for registrants that are in the state of Tennessee. So sign up. We want your money and help support families, but also we're competitive, go Vols. And there's a contest for the chapters, and the winner receives a free registration for the National Hands and Voices meeting that will be in Florida during the summertime, so we can enjoy the beach, but also get some much needed support in the state of Tennessee. It's all volunteer here with Hands and Voices, so all of that money goes directly to the parents and the families. So we really need your help. So sign up, run, dream, walk, whatever you need to do, help us raise money to support families. A couple of advocacy updates for you. We've assisted 3 families recently. One is fighting retaliation from the school after filing a complaint. We do not offer legal services, so we offer support, making sure that they're connected appropriately. We also have had a family struggle recently with trying to get added into their IEP for a deaf-blind student for an active shooter drill where the child was left in the bathroom and unaware that that was going on. So again, just more education within the school system on what is and is not appropriate. Those drills are panic-inducing enough. So just thinking about your child being left in the bathroom in that scenario, I can't imagine. So again, we're trying to focus on there and provide that family with support. And then last but not least, my favorite piece of news, we are working with DRT to set up a Deaf Day on the Hill in advance of Disability Day on the Hill. We want it to be educational. We're working on getting audiologists there to test hearing, to give scenarios of what it sounds like, what it could be like to have hearing loss at different levels, so they can see it, they can feel it. That is all an effort. We're working on some Lead K initiatives, and so building that support and foundation, helping us bridge that partnership in advance of that, and then participating in Disability Day on the Hill. We're really just trying to get support and awareness from the legislature. I will keep you all connected. That will be in February, hopefully, fingers crossed. We would love to have any and everyone come join, come support, publish it out, contact your legislature, make friends after the election, all of those things, just to help push through some initiatives that help our deaf children. So thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Amy, for your report. And next we have Carl Sherrard, deaf representative.
Good morning. Just want to talk a little bit about the area where I'm from, which is Chattanooga. And I just want to give you a little update on what's going on and what we're doing down there. So in August, down at the center, I think the last time we met, if you remember, there was a gentleman that attended the meeting, Chris Nipper. He actually came down to Chattanooga and let us know what they were doing with DRT and effective communication practices. So everyone who attended really enjoyed that. Secondly, in September, I actually had to miss this, unfortunately. I wasn't there, but I heard there was about 25 attendees, and the topic was language deprivation and how that impacts the deaf community. So there was a good mix of both hearing and deaf attendees there. And heard a lot of positive feedback about what they learned and how interesting that topic was to those who attended. And also in September, we had an awareness night at a baseball game. I remember when we first started doing this earlier, we just had very few people join us for that event. That event has grown and we had a really good turnout. So if you wanted to get in, but you didn't have a ticket, then you could bring a canned good and they would allow you into the game in exchange for buying a ticket. So that whole entry process worked very well. I was really impressed. In October, there was a class that was offered. It was a fire safety class, and it was presented by the Red Cross. I was unable to go to that one as well, but I heard that that was pretty good with the information that people learned. They learned how to extinguish fires and I guess that, you know, that there weren't, they were many different things, but like I said, I can't speak to that because I wasn't there. Fifth on my list, there was a morning coffee chat. We have that on the every fourth week of the month, and that's a very enjoyable time as well. Everyone gets together, and there's some homeschool kids that attend that event. And the number of participants who come to that vary. We'll have a large group one month and a smaller group the next month. But we just talk a little bit about a variety of things. There's some college students as well from the ASL classes that come, and they're able to practice and communicate with members of the deaf community. Next, on November the 14th, we're having a Thanksgiving event. And that took place at a hotel. It will take place at a hotel, so that's a really nice venue. It's the first time we're doing that. So I've lived in Chattanooga for a very long time, and we've never had a hotel allow us to use that as a venue. So, okay, in December, they're going to have a decorate the office event. So that will be fun. And then the following day on December the 5th, there's going to be a silent dinner for the students taking ASL classes levels 1 and 2. So that will be wonderful. I think we had the same event last year, but and it was pretty successful. All right, we have ASL classes that are taught by a lady named China, China Weaver. And there's usually around 20 students that take that class, again, for levels 1 and 2. And people love China as the instructor. She's hard of hearing and she's able to voice for herself, but she's been able to teach them lots of different things. She's very nice and friendly. Okay, next, I attended HLAA, the Hearing Loss Association of America, the Chattanooga chapter. See, they meet monthly. See, where am I? They began work on their 40th anniversary event. That's scheduled for September 2025. So the date has not been determined yet. But we're hoping to have the Chattanooga mayor to get the mayor to attend as well and be one of our speakers. So also with HLAA on November 17th, we're going to have a guest speaker. And it's going to be Sergeant Ernest. His last name is Crawl, C-R-A-W. And he's from the police department down there in Chattanooga. The topic he's going to be speaking on is scams. To be aware of what tactics that they use. We have many people, elderly, are victims to scams. That happens pretty often. And I believe it happens to younger people as well. So Sergeant Crawl is going to be giving us some very important information about that. And lastly, Chris, K-R-I-S, Davis, as well as Matthew Calkins, C-A-L-K-I-N-S, and the staff at PFCA, Deaf Services. They've really done a great job in planning several different special events in our area. And they've been very successful, that they work very, very hard to make that happen and to provide opportunities for our community. So I really appreciate that. I've seen a lot of improvement, not just little tiny steps, but I've seen big leaps as well with how the services have improved in Chattanooga. So Chris, you're doing a great job, man. Thank you very much. I recognize his work, so thank you.
Thank you, Carl, for your report. And next we have John Johnson, deafblind representative.
Move it back.
Yeah. Okay, who's going to be interpreting for me? Just want to make sure that I find the interpreter. Okay. Hello, everyone, and good morning. I am John Johnson, representative of the deafblind community. First of all, I do want to congratulate Disability Rights Tennessee for their education that they've been doing recently in July, August, and September. So 3 straight months. I want to applaud them for that. Pray that that keeps going and that we continue to spread awareness from across the state of Tennessee. We have PR, Department of Education, wherever you work. Thank you for all of the great work that's going on across the state. I do have a concern with 2 or 3 months ago, there was that school shooting in Georgia, which was very unfortunate and caused a lot of buzz, and a lot of people were panicked, of course. And so as the rep here, I want to bring that up to the council. There was a deaf student who was stuck out in the hallway. All of the classroom doors were locked, and he didn't know that the active shooter was around, and so that's very concerning and that's unacceptable. So he had to hide, and I just don't want to see what happened in Georgia that happened here in the state of Tennessee. It's really interesting, the deaf-blind community on Facebook, there was a lot of chatter about that, a lot of concerns that were brought up. And mostly people were saying that, that really takes out, deaf-blind students. We want to make sure they have someone with them so that they're not abandoned, but to have some sort of buddy system established. But we want them to have independence of course, with their not, royalty or anything like that, where they have to have an escort around them all the time. But, if they need to go make a run to the bathroom, they know where that is. But in this situation, like I said, it was very dangerous and all of the doors were locked. Yeah, so there, one second, please. Yeah, so the student knew, like, this is so-and-so's room, this is so-and-so's room, and they went down the hall and they knew where the bathroom was based on the door count going down the hallway. So they were stuck in the bathroom and they texted someone and said, hey, I'm stuck in the bathroom. They said, stay there. So that's what they were told. So they were independent, of course. And again, that's what we want for deaf and hard of hearing individuals to have that independence. At the same time, I feel like a buddy system would also be beneficial. So that's very concerning. And also to think about the police department, the SWAT team, make sure that they know, do they have deaf and hard of hearing students in the building? And if so, do they know how to address that? So when the SWAT team comes in, if they see this, deaf child, by themselves, that could really be a tragedy if they didn't have that awareness. So we really need to train the police department and the SWAT team, those agencies about deaf awareness and how to deal with deaf students in that situation. So that process really needs to be started. So in the future, if it happens again, there's more safety protocols in place. Okay, so after Hurricane Helene, I decided to get off of Facebook because I wasn't trusting what I was seeing. But I did notice something that was very interesting. There was some information on deafness related to the hurricane from CFMA, I'm sorry, from FEMA. And I didn't see an interpreter there. So I thought, how do deafblind people know that this is from FEMA? And to me, that's not acceptable. So whether, you have the label on your jacket that says FEMA, or, just how do deafblind people recognize where you're working from and what agency that you represent? So I just hear lots of different, stories about that. So again, we just don't want deafblind community to be left out of the safety procedures that are going on. I do want to thank Rebecca, what's her last name? Gemmel. She's put a lot of effort as well into improving services for the deaf during the hurricane relief. So we got her introduced to Tennessee, and she's been doing great. I've been really excited about the work she's undertaking. I also want to encourage TEMA to make sure that TEMA follows the standards required in terms of captioning, to make sure that, along with the interpreter, that you make captioning available as well. So wanted to throw that out there. So deaf and hard of hearing consumers often come up to me and tell me their story, so I'm going to bring that to the council's attention as well. I get a lot of complaints on their behalf about ASL on Facebook and TCD, DBHH with updates, that those need to be signed. So I know that the state has very, strict rules about what can be out there online on behalf of the state, but I did want to bring that to your attention if that's information that's been brought to my attention locally. So I would ask that the centers and also in Memphis that, excuse me, correction, I want to emphasize for the centers with deaf and hard of hearing. So for example, if there is an emergency and there's like a FEMA kit, when you make those announcements that those are available, I feel like by the time that the deaf blind community gets that information, that they've been all taken by the deaf community members. So I would ask and encourage you that, to maybe when you make that announcement, to give the deafblind community a chance to respond first, and then what's left, you can distribute those out. I know Partnership um, had some emergency kits, and we didn't really know about it until later, and I was unable to get one. So I was trying to think, is this something that other deafblind people are feeling left out about as well? So just something to consider that, we do serve the deaf, hard of hearing, and the deafblind. So make sure that you engage with your deafblind community. I know it's a smaller community, but when you have programs or if you have something that's limited to a 2 or 3 day event, please make sure that the deafblind community has time to get that information and participate if they would like. And also in the deafblind community on Facebook, if people aren't sure where the resources are out in East Tennessee, Johnson City. So I know that there's a community there, and they thought that those resources were in that area, but really that they were in Nashville. So we'll make sure that communication is coordinated. I was trying to think of some ideas like the Helen Keller Center. And then also the Usher syndrome, a coalition as well, UHC. And West Tennessee, there's a large deafblind community out there as well, but that's what I hear, but I'm not exactly sure. I know that there is a large deafblind community in East. So I just want to throw out there to Bridges West, if they could do some outreach efforts to engage the deafblind community in that area, so they know where the center is and what resources are available for them to. You're all doing a great job in Nashville and East and the West, and wow, really keep it up. Just some considerations to think about when you're thinking about how to serve the deafblind community. All right, that's all I have. Thank you. Oh, are there any questions?
Thank you, John, for your report. Next is Jennifer Dean, TAD representative. Hello. Myself. Okay, so right now. Okay, so anyway, hi, hello everyone. I represent TAD, the Tennessee Association of the Deaf. I'm the secretary. So I just wanted to tell you some exciting news. October 17th and 18th, that weekend, we're gonna have a statewide conference in Lebanon, I think it's called, Wilson County Fairgrounds. So so that's where it'll be, the Tennessee State Fair, where the Tennessee State Fair usually is, that same place. Y'all know where it is, right? Yeah. We'll have the conference there. So that's kind of exciting. So I wanted to ask y'all, your individual departments, your agencies, whatever, to come and bring your information. It's October 17th and 18th. So it's next year in 2025, just making sure I clarify that everybody's confused. No, next year, 2025, October 17th and 18th. Sorry about that. Anyway, so come and also I want to invite the centers to provide workshops. You can meet your quota. Yeah, that would be helpful. So like we want to talk about education. It can be, what did I put down? Advocacy, interpreting. We were thinking about different tracks that we can have at the conference. So people can come and take workshops related to their field. So I'm really looking forward to that, and I'll keep you posted about that. Okay, so that's all I have to say. Have a good day. Brandon, could you come back, please? I have a question for Jennifer. How much does the conference cost? Jennifer says, oh, good question. So obviously we're still in the planning stages, so we're figuring out the details. So we want to provide camping there, so I don't know what the cost of that is, maybe a combo ticket. I'm not sure. It's a good question. We're figuring out, do you want to join the committee? Sure, why not? Oh, we would love for people to join the committee. Okay, yeah, you too. Okay, yeah. Let's get everybody on the committee and develop a strong event and make it happen and make it successful. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you, Jennifer, for your report. And next is me. I'm going to step down this chair for a second and put on my representative hat. So I have three things. The first one is that got my attention as a deaf person. I saw an advertisement on TV. It was the state of Tennessee Commerce and Insurance, and it had no captions. So I forwarded that to Lisa and I said, so what? Okay, hold that thought, Lisa. Hold on just a second. So the second thing, I want to thank Tima for all the emergency kits. Thank you so much for that. I got that and the medical kit, and I was like, some things I knew what to do with, some things I didn't. So I, was concerned about people knowing what's in the medical kit, medical terms we may not be aware of. So figuring out how to explain, I was thinking maybe we could add pictures or something like that to make it more accessible. And thirdly, do you remember the, did you have something, John, you wanted to say related to, oh, no, okay. So lastly, we passed the bill to change from the verbiage from hearing impaired to deaf, right? Do you remember that? Do you remember that? Correct me if I'm wrong. But so I went to the driver's license place. I was so excited to get a new driver's license, and I looked at it and it said hearing impaired. The same thing that it's always been. And I was like, why has that verbiage not been changed? So the code that it needs to be changed on the driver's license as well as in the bill. So I just wanted to put that out there. So hold on just a second, Nancy. So okay, so now I'm the deaf representative, so I finished that. So now I'm going to put on my chairperson hat again and step back into that role. Okay, so now, is it okay with y'all if we let Nancy speak about the driver's license? Are you guys okay with that? Because Nancy's not a member of the table, she's a visitor, so is it okay if she shares with us some information? Is that okay? Okay, come on, Nancy.
Yes, the driver's license. So in 2018, Mike and I met with several people in William Lambert's office at the legislature. And one of the things, the Department of Safety was present, and so one of the things we raised was about this driver's license and wanting to change the verbiage from hearing impaired. So if you are deaf or hard of hearing right now, you get the license, has a little number code on the front, but if you flip it over to see what the code means, it says hearing impaired. So the representative from the Department of Safety understood what we were saying immediately and agreed to change the wording on the driver's license in that meeting. They were in the process of sending out bids to get the contracts to redesign and print the new licenses, which I guess being a function of the state takes a long time. So we have followed up periodically, and then when the new licenses were released earlier this year, we actually reached back out and we said, we want to verify that you kept up with this every step of the way, and I have the email trail that proves it. They said, yes, the wording will change, the wording will change, the wording will change. So the new licenses were sent out. We followed up. We said, we'd like to see it, on a license that it says deaf or hard of hearing instead of hearing impaired. So that we can announce this to our community and celebrate. People who want to get a new license can go and get their new license. And then there was just crickets. So there had been some leadership changes in the Department of Safety. And so it took them a minute, but I have been in touch with them over the last month, and they are chasing it down. And I did remind them that in 2019, we led the way to pass the Words Matter bill, which actually removed hearing impaired and hearing impairment from Tennessee Annotated Code and changed it to deaf or hard of hearing and hearing loss. And so that they would probably need to be in compliance with that as well. So I am assured that I will have an answer in the next week or so, and that change will continue to be made. And then Lorena will be happy to take you back to the driver's center to get another one.
John has a question. Is it voluntary or required?
John's asking, is that process voluntary or is it required?
Okay, so there are two separate things, right? One is the Deaf Driver Safety Database. That is voluntary. So if you register your car at your county clerk's office and you are deaf or hard of hearing, you have the option, completely voluntary, to fill out a form that says you're deaf or hard of hearing. And in that case, that information is added to Tennessee's insurance database. So when an officer stops a vehicle on the road, makes a routine traffic stop, they're supposed to check on the laptop in their cars whether or not that vehicle has insurance. When they make that check, if you have opted to join that database, it will also tell them whether or not the owner of that vehicle is deaf or hard of hearing, so that when they approach your car, they should be better prepared to communicate more effectively with you. That's one thing. That passed in 2017, I think. 2018, we actually passed that. This is separate. This is just for the driver's license. So if you have a driver's license, and I think the code is 23 on the front, you flip it over, the officer says, oh, well, what does 23 mean? And it says hearing impaired right now. We have a commitment from the Department of Safety to change that to deaf or hard of hearing. Somehow that got lost in some of their transition in the last year, but it is being fixed now, I am assured. But that's not voluntary. That's for anyone who has a driver's license.
The reason I asked that question is because in the past, like around 2017 or so, when the license changed, they separated out deaf and hard of hearing. Now, which I disagreed with. So I do have concerns about insurance, because what they look at the statistics for hard of hearing, there's a large number of hard of hearing, and then the deaf number is very, very small. So like the accidents, if one deaf person gets to an accident, then it's going to impact like the percentage of deaf accidents and what it looks like. So I do have a concern about that, whereas the hard of hearing group, that number is much larger. So it's an advantage really for the hard of hearing group. So that's part of the reason I asked that question. And so if you have like deaf and hard of hearing combined, I think that would be fine. I just think that would protect consumers from being discriminated against when it comes to their insurance the statistics, when they base their rates on the number of accidents that community has.
So right now, the Department of Safety manages the driver's licenses for Tennessee, or the department. Anyway, that's separate from insurance, right? So like I wore contacts, glasses for a long, long time. And so on my license, there was a thing that I had to have my contacts or glasses. There's a code for that. So this code is just on for all the various conditions drivers may have, but it has always said hearing impaired, which is inclusive of deaf and hard of hearing. But now we want, just the wording will change to say deaf or hard of hearing.
Mandy. Has a comment.
While we're talking about the while we're talking about the verbiage of the hard of hearing and hearing impairment category, when you finish the battle with the Department of Transportation, then maybe we tackle the Department of Education for that disability category.
Oddly enough, I can speak to that as well, unless someone objects. So when we changed the bill in 2019, in the same year that we introduced the Words Matter bill to change it in Tennessee Annotated Code, the Department of Education had simultaneously introduced a bill to make Tennessee Annotated Code language match the federal language around education, because it was creating some problems in students' IEPs and 504s. So we were at a crossroads, and so they requested to carve out just education to make sure it matches ADA language exactly, and IDEA language exactly to protect the students. We weren't thrilled with it, but we understood. I think the key would be that if you read ADA, it still says hearing impaired, and that's a long overdue change. But you got to get the right people in Washington, because if they open up ADA to make that language change, they have in recent years tried to open up ADA to take away a lot of the protections. So you got to be very careful about who's sitting up there to vote on those things. But yeah, hopefully we can change it all eventually.
Okay, Carl? So what's the deal with the star on the front in 2025? What's going on with that?
Well, so we're getting outside my area of expertise, but I believe the star on the driver's license is the real ID. That was maybe first supposed to happen in 2020 and would be required for you to be able to fly on an airplane or to enter like a federal building. That's been delayed every year, so it's not in effect yet. You can still get a real ID. You have to take your birth certificate with you when you go to renew your license in order to get that, but I don't believe it's in effect to be required right now, but there may be someone who has more knowledge about real IDs than I do.
Okay, thank you, Nancy. Thank you for all your questions, you guys. So now, John Johnson, did you have a question?
This is my last one. I'd like to know, I'd like to recommend Marina Terry to be the chairperson. I know that's happened, but I do want to say thank you, Marina, for your service so far and into the future.
Thank you, John. Okay, back to my second point about the insurance. Do you have an update, Lisa?
I found out that all of those commercials and things come through our Public Information and Legislative Office. We affectionately call it PILO, P-I-L-O. And so they have been alerted that their commercials do not have captioning. And hopefully that will be taken care of.
Okay, thank you, Lisa, for the update. Okay, any more reports, council member reports or consumer reports? Okay, we're gonna take a break and come back at 10:40. Let's say 10:45.
I learned that in school.
What school did you learn that in? SEE. Was it supposed to be
Did
SEE?
you, did you understand it?
Wait.
No, no, if I didn't hear it, I'd be like. Fun.
Wow. Everybody get a snack. I ate something. Now I'm full. I don't even need lunch today. Thank you, Bridges, for providing the food and the drinks. It's all wonderful. Thank you. Okay, next on the agenda, the state grantee report from Lisa Rimmer.
Okay, we're gonna get there. But before we do, I now have the floor, and I realized I forgot a whole bunch of stuff. So, I wanted to say welcome back to Austin, who has been out on maternity leave, so thank you so much. And I also forgot to introduce our newest members of the council, Paul Kozak from Tennessee School for the Deaf, and Annalise Romizer, who you all met earlier, who is the CHS representative. So, yay, thank you, new people. Also, before anybody scoots out of here, I want to take a group picture for the new state report. So we're going to take a picture right after, probably in here, but maybe outside. I don't know. But anyway, don't leave because I want to take a good picture of everybody. Okay, so our grantee report. Let me just tell you about the services year to date, which year to date means July 1st until now, which I think makes these more impressive. It's actually July 1st until September 30th. So we don't have the October results yet, but for outreach services, there have been a total of 89 and these are all of our centers combined. For pro bono services, this number blew me away, 396. That's 396 hours of interpreting that the centers are using their grant money, but they're not otherwise compensated for. So that's a whole lot of hours. Advocacy services, there have been 293. So that's people touched and people who have had issues that have come in for their advocacy services. We've had 97 hours of educational programming and then 28 community and cultural events, which we've heard a lot about some of those community events that are happening. So everybody is doing a fantastic job and they're right on target.
Thank you, Lisa, for your report. And next is the Tcddbhh initiatives, the updates from Paul Kozak.
Hello, everyone. My name is Paul. I'm here to represent Tennessee School for the Deaf. And I'm taking a reality of this place, and we're talking about the Parent Advisory Program and Deaf Mentors. We have some good updates for you. Both programs are doing well. The Deaf Mentor Parent Advisory Program. So in November, the program will turn 5 years old. So it was established in 2019. So we'll celebrate our 5th anniversary. So I do want to thank you for all of your support and your time in giving to this program. So the Deaf Mentor Parent Advisory Program, like I said, from 2019 to now, we've served 87 families so far. And we're looking forward to our 100th family, which should be coming up very soon. So the Deaf Mentor Parent Advisory Program, just FYI, right now we're at capacity. We're not taking on any more deaf mentors. Those positions have all been filled. So, however, next summer of 2025, we may have some more vacancies. So continue to reach out to Briella Diaz through email at briella.diaz@tcddbhh.org and reach out to her and we can discuss bringing you on after we discuss your qualifications and go from there. If you know any families that would be interested in participating in our program that the Tennessee School for the Deaf offers, reach out to Connie Robinson through email at c.robinson@tsdeaf.org and let her know that you have been in touch with some families who may be interested in participating in some of these programs, and we can make a visit and then refer them, make sure they get the services that they need. That's all I have. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Paul, for your report. And next is public comments from any visitors. I don't see any. Okay, all right. And next on the agenda is announcements. Are there any announcements? Lisa has an announcement.
Once again, I've got the floor. No. One of the things that I forgot to mention earlier to the community and to those who are watching is that the council has come together at my request and made donations that I will be taking to Johnson City tomorrow to distribute through Bridges East. So if you have donations for me, that is my Jeep out there. So after we take the group picture, if you can meet me at the Jeep, we'll load her up and get her ready to go to Johnson City tomorrow. And I also wanted to say a big thank you to Bridges for doing our live streaming today. They've done a wonderful job, so thank you so much. Everybody knows I need the help. Tori knows better than anybody at the moment, so thank you. And I think Beth had an announcement.
Yeah, this is Beth James from JSIL. Just a really quick announcement. I wanted to invite you all. We are having Making the Holiday Safe open house on November the 19th from 2 to 4 and then again from 6 to 8. And this is an initiative that JSIL is undertaking. Emergency preparedness and planning is really big on our to-do list this coming years, the next 3 years for the state plan. And so we have invited the fire department. We'll have a booth to explain about fire safety during the holidays. The police department will be there. The extension office about food safety. The Red Cross is going to have a booth. JSIL will have booths. Everybody who attends will get we've got really nice first aid kits that we're going to be giving out. And we really encourage everyone to come. And the best part of it, there's going to be a hot chocolate and cookie bar. So hey, you can't miss that. So, but I just want to invite everyone, if you're over in our neck of the woods, you're more than welcome to come. And we still have a few of the bed shaker kits. If you know anyone in our area that needs those, please reach out to us. We'll be glad to give those to them. Thank you.
Thank you for those announcements. Are there any more? Any holiday events planned that you want to announce for your organization or your center? Oh, Amy, okay. Sorry, I'm slow. We do have plans. TRID has plans. There's a party for interpreters. Last year we had one, but the tornado hit at the same, the hurricane hit at the
No,
same.
it was tornado.
I was right.
She tried.
She had tornado. But the tornado hit at the same time, so we had to cancel it. So, we're planning that event again. And next spring, it's still a ways away, but we're gonna have a spring fling at the SLS office, with TRID, and so the whole community is, it's able to come, and we're gonna have, egg hunt and, different things like that, so just wanted to let you know about that. Jennifer said, the spring fling, when is that? And Amy says, we haven't set up a date yet, but it'll be somewhere close to Easter. We'll have like the egg hunt and that kind of thing, so. Any more questions? Okay, great. Thank you, Amy, for that announcement. Any others? Okay, I don't see any. All right. Get my notes. Okay, since there are no more announcements, I have an announcement. I just want to remind everyone the daylight savings time is coming up. So we're gonna fall back. So remember, everyone, it's this weekend, I believe. I think it's Sunday morning, so I'm so upset about it. I don't want to lose my hour, but anyway, just wanted to remind you all to change your times. I'm sure your phones will do it automatically, but remember all your clocks at home to change those as well, so. And then a last reminder of the group picture. So don't take off. We're gonna do the group picture right after the meeting. One more time, I'll ask. Any other announcements? Are visitors allowed to make announcements? Are you guys okay with that? Yeah, come on up.
Hello, everyone. I'm Chris Davis from Partnership. On March 15th, we are planning on an ASL day in Chattanooga at the zoo. So we're gonna have vendors, tables. So it's really more for families and for children with TSD. So spread the word with another organization so that they're aware of this. If you know any families with children. So again, it's going to be on March 15th, and I hope to hear from you all soon.
Okay, any other announcements? All right, we're gonna close the meeting. And the time is 11:05, it's early, so the earliest one in history, so, okay, so the meeting is adjourned.
I love that everyone's AV systems right off of.